All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel presents. I am here with my colleagues Jason Eggert and Casey Stone. Today, we are very pleased to have as our guest Lisa Leali with District 65. She's a superintendent with District 65, and District 65 serves Lake Bluff and Knollwood. And we all know the importance of social and emotional learning pre-pandemic, and probably even more so now during, I guess I'd still say, this pandemic. Lisa is here to share with us their initiative, which is called Thrive in District 665 around SEL. So Lisa, do you want to just start by kind of giving us a high-level overview of Thrive?
Sure, I would love to. Thanks so much for having me today. The mission and vision in District 65 is pretty clear that we want to make sure all students are provided with learning opportunities and educational environments that inspire academic achievement, personal growth, responsible citizenship, and enthusiasm for life. I mean, we're really, our district is organized to really make wonderful things happen for our students. And before I was hired, in December of 2019, the community kind of put an additional task on the plate of the next leader, which was to address any issues of equity. And so coming out of the pandemic, kind of looking at our achievement gaps that have existed in the district prior to this, we decided that really we wanted to combine social emotional learning and make that the umbrella over which we would look at issues of equity and belonging, and just making sure that we're doing everything we can to get our students to feel that enthusiasm for life and sense of true belonging in our school and in our community. So we did name our task force Thrive, and it is an acronym. And what it means is that we want to be able to trust, honor, respect, include, and value everyone every day. And so our tagline is Thrive in 65. And we're really excited. We had our first task force meeting last night to kick it off, and it went really well. And we're really hopeful and optimistic about this partnership with our community and teachers.
Lisa, I'm very interested to hear about the process and the task force and how that group of stakeholders came together to find a cohesive plan of action. I know a lot of our viewers will be interested in that too. Can you spell that out, please?
Sure, absolutely. So when we started to think about how we wanted to collaborate with all the different stakeholders in our communities, we sort of modeled what we were going to do with this task force after how we addressed the pandemic. So when I arrived in Lake Bluff and Knollwood in June of last year and began my transition, we created a task force to plan our return to learn in the fall of 2020. And our task force was comprised of community members, parents, teachers, administrators, and we met every week online, and all of our meetings were recorded. They were all put on our webpage. And so our process was really collaborative, really transparent, and the record of it and the documentation really helped our community to understand what our process was, what the questions are that we were trying to answer, what challenges we were having. And so as we thought about how we wanted to address social emotional learning and create a collaborative team just like that, with that as much transparency as possible, we decided to sort of follow the same model. And so this task force also includes community members, parents, administrators, teachers, and staff. And we hope to include students at some point as well. And we will be having some meetings online, and those will be some recorded and housed on our website. And then we'll have some working meetings that will sort of be behind the scenes with subcommittees working on various aspects of the Thrive initiative.
Thank you.
And Lisa, there are pillars, right? You were telling us about that there are pillars as a part of the Thrive program. Will you tell us a little bit, tell everybody a little bit more about that?
Sure, I'd love to. So within those areas of Thrive, those words that we talked about, we're really looking to ensure that in lots of different areas in our district and community, our students are feeling a sense of belonging, feeling trusted, honored, all of those great words that we've included in our title. And so the 5 areas that we're going to be really looking at and diving into are family and community, curriculum and instruction, professional learning and the culture and climate in our district and in our buildings, systems and processes, and then areas and opportunities for student voice and social emotional competency. So we're really just kind of breaking the work up because it's a big task, and we want to make sure that we don't miss anything. We don't miss any opportunities for improvement. Our district is really a wonderful place, and our community and district have done work on this already. So this is not a beginning. This is just the next step for us to make sure that we're taking a really systematic and thorough approach and implementing anything that we can do for our students to ensure they're achieving and growing.
So you were initially tasked with this when you were hired on there to be the superintendent, and now, as you said, this isn't necessarily the beginning. You're in that next phase and the next steps of the process. What do you kind of envision as some of your long-term goals of this initiative?
Yeah, so we outlined some of them last night at our first meeting. And one of our really short-term goals is just to develop some common vocabulary. Look at some language around social emotional learning. Look at the words that we identified in the title of our task force. Look at even just basic diversity, equity, and inclusion vocabulary, and just see if we can come to common definitions and have some common vocabulary to discuss those 5 pillars, and just make sure that we're all kind of on the same page. And then ultimately, conduct our audits of each of those areas collaboratively, and then determine some action steps that we can take in each of those areas to just improve the experience for all of our students, and hopefully realize some academic achievement and growth improvements and gains for our students.
She is Dr. Lisa Leali. She is the superintendent of schools in Lake Bluff District 65, which includes the communities of Lake Bluff and Knollwood. We were so honored, Lisa, to have you again as a returning guest on our feature, on our segment here on the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel Presents. We're very, very interested to see as this Thrive program unfolds, as you really focus on not only social emotional learning, but equity and inclusion there in your community. So Lisa, thank you again very much for your time today.
Thank you so much.